All right, my honeys. So I went ahead and I finished one version of the endings with Strelok. Because in my mind, he made a pretty compelling point about how both factions were pretty much full of it. And I kind of had to agree with him. I felt like they were both full of it. So I went with siding with him. And that was a really interesting ending. I thought the ending was pretty cool. But now that I've finished one story, or one ending, let's talk a little bit about Stalker 2 on PlayStation 5. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is the zone is amazing. It's amazing to explore. And the side quests are like really great excuses to go out and explore the world, right? And it's really, I can honestly say there's one moment that, like, in terms of exploration, that was really disappointing. We'll get into it when we get there. But yeah, it's wonderful because you meet up with all these bartenders and like the different hubs, and everybody's always got something for you to do. And over time, you start to befriend these people, and they start really like warming up to you, and they're very friendly. And before you know it, their world, the zone, really starts to grow on you to the point to where even when you're not playing the game, you're thinking about it, right? And it's very rare to have that moment anymore in modern gaming where you're playing a game and it's just like it grows in the back of your mind, you know? Yeah. Uh, I'm not, I can honestly say I stopped doing the side quests when I made up my mind that I was going to finish the story, you know? But all of them were worth my time. I mean, to me, there was a couple moments where I got stopped by this one scientist, and I was on my way to somewhere else, but decided to stop in and help him out. And it's oh, don't worry about it. You're just gonna flip the switch on this thing over on that area over there, and that's all you need to do. So I went over there and I flipped the switch, and all of a sudden it brought in a bunch of mutants. And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Skiff, but we had to do it for science." And then, he was needing my help because he just brought in tons of mutants into the courtyard, and I could hear that they were closing in on him, and the game expected me to go back and save his ass. So I left him. I left him, and he died in the name of science because F that guy. A similar situation happened hunting down callers for this one scientist. And I just knew he was fixing to set me up, and he sure did. There was no doubt about it. But even still, like, it's such a fun journey. You really don't know what's going to happen. Even if these are scripted moments, it was interesting to be on my way somewhere and get stopped by somebody who wanted to talk with me and asked me if I had this or that on them. So, yeah, really enjoyable. Now, yeah, let's get on to some not so enjoyable things. I really enjoy hunting mutants in this game. It's one of my favorite pastimes when I'm playing it. But I do have some issues with the mutants. The brewers. I guess some of you might have known this was coming. I have a specific gripe with them. They are very powerful, right? They can shield themselves. They can raise up weapons off the ground and use those weapons to attack you. They can pull guns out of your hand and use that gun to attack you, right? I can also say it's really weird how their cooldown time, like being able to do stuff like that, should really take a lot out of them. But yet their cooldown time is so quick. Like it's a few seconds and then they're ready to like do it all over again. And I find that hard to swallow, right? Considering how small they are. I think that they should have a little bit longer of a cooldown time. And the fact that they can pull your gun out of your hand when you're down the hall hiding behind a wall and they still manage to pull the gun out of your hand, I think that's a little suspicious, right? I think they're a little too broken. But still, the game decides that it's going to keep Skiff's pistol in your inventory, and it becomes a really cheap, cheesy way of contending with the brewer's powers. I think that's a little unfair. I'm going to do some experimentation to see if I can figure out exactly how I can approach these guys without having to pull out Skip's pistol. Talk about immersion breaking, right? The weapon they can't pull, right? I don't think like that's it's just not a good strategy in my opinion. There should be better ways to deal with these guys than just going to a weapon that he can't pull out. I don't think he should be able to see you through walls, right? I think you should be able to find a way, like if you hide behind a wall, then you're no longer in his sight, and it's anybody's get like he can't just guess where you're at and the pull the gun out of your hands. I think that should get they should get rid of that. I don't think that should be in the game with that particular creature. Um, Poltergeists can attack you through walls too. Somebody said that's not supposed to be a thing. I don't think the brewer being able to see through walls and know where you're at and take your gun. I don't think that should be in the game either. The hopping rats, their hitboxes are kind of touch and go. But if you're on a hillside and these things are approaching you on a hillside, the hitbox for them becomes almost non-existent. Like you can shoot, 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 shoot. You can empty a clip at one coming at you, but it just won't register because for some reason, when you're on a hillside, something goes wrong. I don't know, like they become immune to damage for some reason. Um, Another issue is like, of course, enemy AI is amazing, right? They can take the rustiest shotgun with cheap buckshot, and then they can just precisionally snipe you from across the field. That's a bit effing weird. So too is being able to shoot you through physical objects. So that's still an issue in the game. Not great. Um, but even still, none of these things are like a huge deal breaker for me in terms of how much I enjoyed playing the game. The world doesn't disappoint on atmosphere. The sound is fucking exquisite. Oh, it's amazing. Like I love the sound design. I love how foreboding, like no matter how beautiful the scenery is, no matter how much you're enjoying what you're doing, maybe nothing's going on around you, but you know that could change quickly, right? You never know what could happen. I was walking across the field and all of a sudden I spotted a brewer. I did a little video of it where we got into you know, it was a dicey thing because like there was nothing to hide behind, and he's like taking my shotgun and I'm grabbing it off the ground really quick to keep him from using it against me. It was nuts. So you don't really know what you're going to encounter when you're out walking. And speaking of walking, man, oh man, that stamina. Oh, Skip's stamina is killing me. This world is huge. It's freaking huge. He, okay, maybe stamina like that worked in the old games. It does not work here. It doesn't work here. Okay, he needs more stamina. They need to give him more stamina. Like spamming the energy drinks just to get from point A to point B is so it's not just cheesy. It's downright immersion breaking. Nobody can drink that many energy drinks, okay, without getting heartburn. So they really need to do something with the stamina for your character. This world is way too big for him to have that much trouble getting around. He's younger than me. I'm sure he's a lot more athletic than I am. I could probably hoof it across a field faster and further than he can, and I got a bad kneecap. So, c- come on, guys, fix that stamina. It's just it's so annoying, you know. Uh, Now, in case you hadn't noticed, we're in Pripyat right now, right? And you can kind of see like things are loading in as I'm walking along. Yeah. Okay. I want to say that one thing that really disappointed me about this game, like I was really excited to finally get to this area. And as soon as you get here, that's where stuttering happens. If you're going to experience stuttering, not saying you won't before you get here, but once you get here, you're going to notice stuttering, maybe some frame rate drops. It's quite disappointing. Um, they really need to, I would say, work a little harder to kind of, I don't know, Take a good look at this end game area and really work a little harder to polish it up. Please, please, and thank you. Now, I know that the city is quite large and there's a lot of indoor areas and stuff like that. Like these, a lot of these buildings are not just set dressing, like they're actual buildings. I get that. Okay. But this is the PlayStation 5. This is a base PS5, all right? And when you got games like Frontiers of Pandora, as well as it behaves on this console, they need to work a little harder to get Unreal Engine 5 to do that thing that Unreal Engine's supposed to do. I know we complain a lot about the Unreal Engine and for very, very good reasons, but I think that the Unreal Engine should be taking more advantage of the PlayStation's capabilities, and I'm sure it can if they just get this area lined out right, because it's really disappointing. I was like, when I started noticing the stuttering, because I was like, oh yeah, urban warfare, baby, oh, this is going to be exciting, and then the game started stuttering and I'm like, oh man, what? So it wasn't horrible, but it was definitely noticeable and it kind of disappointed me. um Speaking of disappointment, I did finish the story. Like I said, I got the ending with when Sherlock, locks down the zone. Fast. That was pretty cool. Do I want to experience the other endings? Not really. Not really. The ending, like once you get to that point of no return, everything after that goes from like everything before that moment, like the whole game was amazing, and then you get to the end game stuff where you're having like your decisions are finally reaching fruition. Um, it just becomes this huge, like massive shooting gallery. Like one room after another. It feels like half the game's enemies are just waiting for you in those bunkers, in those areas. And you could tell that the developers realized that they made kind of a mistake with just turning it into a massive shoot 'em up, because there's so many rooms that they put in your way that's full of ammo and like stacks of medkits, which is probably the lamest apology I've ever seen out of like, oh yes, we come to realize like this is a terrible section of the game, so we're showering you with medkits and random stockpiles of ammo to help you out and some extra guns because your guns are probably going to start breaking down because we're throwing so many enemies at you. We're sorry, So that was really disappointing. I feel like I was kind of hoping that the endings, like the different branches, would be a little bit more well, like they would have been paced out a little bit better in terms of like action. But no, no, it was just constant. It was like shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up. Here's a room. Load up on medkits. Load up on bandages. Here's some random ammo that you may or may not be for your weapons. It's a good thing I come stacked to the gills with the ammo that I use, and it pretty much did get me through to the end, more or less. Uh, you know, but man, oh man, baby, I thought it was never going to end. I thought it was never going to end. I was really just kind of pushing through it because I had made a save file for myself so I could come back to that save file and continue to play the game the way I want to play it and like do the exploration stuff, right? Like that ending feels like it's so intense. It feels like detached from the rest of the game in all the wrong ways. And it's very, I must say, it's such an onslaught of just enemy fire, and it's so bad that you walk into a room and enemies they just spawn. They just spawn, guns blazing at you, right? So it feels very unpolished. It feels very rushed, right? Like throwing everything at you but the kitchen sink kind of thing. So that was, I'm not going to say it's disappointing. It's just I was shocked at how it just felt a little disconnected from the game that I had been playing for hours and hours, right? So I will not be seeking out an ending anytime soon, like a new one. I don't really care about the other endings. I just want to play the game, right? So yeah. But they said that they're going to be making they're going to be upgrading the Unreal Engine. I will be really, really curious to see like how that affects the game's performance overall. Is Pripyat gonna look better? Is it gonna feel more stable to explore this part of the world or not? You know, because this place is wild, man. This place is chock full of human enemies and mutants. Like those mutant bucks that can call other mutants to them. I saw two of them giant mutant deer like frolicking through this courtyard. They were none too happy to see me. I didn't stick around. I'm like, I don't have time for this. You know, but things get really wild here, and if you're going to have stuttering and frame rate drops, that's going to create a very frustrating experience for even the most hardened player, right? But overall, my initial impressions of the game when the first video I did where I was just like, so you know, I was really gushing over the game. And coming out the other side of it, ignoring the end game stuff, you know, the whole mission where you got to end the story, the main campaign itself, got all of that out because I don't count that. I I just ended the game just to see what ending I would get. I wasn't I'm not looking to end this game at all. You know, I want to keep playing this, right? So, um I will continue to play it. I'm going to do my mutant hunts. I'm going to explore. I'm going to find those stashes. I'm going to pick up random jobs from bartenders. I don't know if that gets exhausted or not. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're residual, right? Like after a while, you can go around and pick up the same kinds of jobs over and over again. So that will be enough to keep me busy for a while when I'm playing the game, you know? Um, but the idea of starting all over again from scratch, this game is so it's a lot to chew on, right? So the idea of starting fresh again, I'm not in any hurry to do that. I'm just kind of like I'm enjoying all the progress I've made. You know, I have an arsenal I'm really having fun with, and I'm not nearly done with this current playthrough at all. So, I mean, I'm not ready to jump in and make a bunch of different decisions for the story because I wasn't that interested in the story anyway, and that's okay. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't need every survival shooter game I play trying to be another Last of Us. Okay, so I mean, I wasn't expecting amazing things from the main story, and it's a good thing because there's not really a whole lot to chew on. Some of it's kind of confusing, you know, and you could definitely tell like maybe some like different story ideas were sort of stitched together, right, to create one big story. But half the time I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought the ending was kind of cool that I got. I'm satisfied with that. I don't give a crap about the other endings. So, what would I give this for a base PS5 in its current condition? Um, the experience that I got from this, I would still say this is this is easily 9.5 out of 10 for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. What? Who? Huh? Who? What? Some monolith guy down there or what? Whatever? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna still say it's a 9.5 out of 10. In spite of the flaws that I came across, none of that kept me from having an awesome time. And I must say that this game has really um, you know, taken root in the back of my head to where I'm always thinking about it, even when I'm not playing it. And in spite of its flaws, I mean, and that's really hard to do because I've been playing video games for a long time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good. I would really like to see Pripyat get cleaned up here, though. It's kind of rough. I don't really have any desire to explore this part of the world right now. I kind of got here because I was sort of pushing the story, right? But yeah, when I got here, it was kind of disappointing with the stuttering and stuff, and the excessive pop-ins. The game does have pop-in issues, but man, it's really like it's up front and center here, you know. But anyway, beautiful game, awesome experience. There is a little bit of a learning curve, but you know, when you once you get in, you see that? Yeah, yeah. They need to clean up Pripyat, and make it just as stable as How did those guys get up here? How? And they just spawned in, didn't they? Yeah. So I'll be very curious to see what the Unreal Engine upgrade does for the game. Yeah, absolutely. I know this game's been out for a while, but I'm gonna say I feel like this is gonna be my game of the year. I do. I feel it. You know, I really, really feel it. So anyway, yeah, I've got like 70, I'm like 60, 70 hours in the game, and I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot more. I guarantee I'm gonna end up putting hundreds of hours into this game just because. Right. So that's why 9.5 out of 10 for me because I know I'm gonna be spending a lot of time playing this game. And a lot of time thinking about it when I'm not playing it. So anyway, that's all I got for now. You all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah, yeah.